Imagine waking up to a world where the first thing you see is a silent rebellion against everything you've let slip through your fingers. That tangled mess of sheets isn't just a bed, it's a mirror reflecting every promise you've broken to yourself, every moment you've surrendered to the quiet chaos that rules your days. We tell ourselves that control is an illusion, that life is too vast, too unpredictable to tame. But deep down, you know that's a lie you've crafted to avoid the sting of accountability, a shield against the truth that the smallest choices carve the deepest paths. Think about the last time you felt truly powerful, not from some grand achievement, but from a quiet, unshakable certainty within. Chances are, it wasn't tied to applause or recognition, but to a moment when you chose to act, to rise above the drift of indecision that pulls so many under. Chaos doesn't scream, it whispers. It's the undone task you ignore, the fleeting thought you dismiss, the subtle weight that settles in your chest when you realize another day has slipped away, unmarked by anything you can call your own. Now picture this. You stand before your unmade bed, and instead of walking past it, you pause. In that pause, you're not just facing fabricure, staring down the part of you that thrives on excuses, the part that prefers comfort over courage. There's a strange power in that simplicity, isn't there? A single act pulling sheets taut, smoothing out the wrinkles, becomes a declaration that you're no longer a passenger in your own life, but the one steering it. Jordan Peterson once said that if you can't order your own room, you've got no business trying to fix the world. It's a brutal truth. The state of your surroundings is the state of your soul, and neglecting one betrays the other. Every morning, you're handed a choice disguised as a chore. To make your bed is to win a battle before the sun has fully risen, to plant a flag in the ground and say, "This day belongs to me." It's not about the bed itself, it's about what it represents. Each fold is a promise kept, a thread of discipline woven into the fabric of who you're becoming, a quiet refusal to let disorder dictate your destiny. You might scoff at the idea that something so trivial could shift the course of your life. But that's the trap. Underestimating the small is how we lose the big, how we let greatness slip through the cracks of our own disbelief. Consider the athlete who claims gold after years of unseen reps, the writer who pens a masterpiece through countless discarded drafts. Their victories weren't born in a blaze of glory. They were forged in the mundane, in the relentless repetition of what others call insignificant. Your mind resists this because it craves instant reward, a quick hit of dopamine over the slow burn of meaning. To make your bed is to defy that instinct, to choose the harder path that leads somewhere real, somewhere lasting. And yet, there's an ego at play here, whispering that you're above such petty tasks. It's the same voice that keeps you stagnant, cloaking pride in the guise of practicality, while chaos tightens its grip around your potential. What if that ego is wrong? What if the humility of mastering the ordinary is the spark that ignites everything extraordinary within you? The first step toward a life you've only dared to imagine. Because here's the secret no one tells you. Chaos is a drug. It's addictive, seductive, offering a cozy blanket of excuses that lets you off the hook while quietly eroding the person you could be. Break that cycle, and something shifts. The moment you smooth those sheets, you're not just tidying a room, you're rewriting the story you tell yourself, proving you're capable of more than you've allowed. It's a ritual, a sacred act of defiance against a world that thrives on distraction. Each day you do it, you build a shield not just against external mess, but against the doubts that gnaw at your edges, the fears that keep you small. Return home after a brutal day, and there it is. A made bed, a silent testament to your resolve. It's not much, but it's yours, a tangible reminder that even in the storm, you held the line. This isn't about perfection, it's about intent. It's the difference between drifting through life and claiming it, between being a victim of circumstance and an architect of your own fate. Think of the grandest structures ever built: cathedrals, empires, legacies? They all began with a single stone, a deliberate act no one noticed until it became impossible to ignore. Your life is no different. It's cumulative, a mosaic of moments most dismiss as meaningless. But what if those moments are everything? The quiet threads that weave the tapestry of who you'll become. We chase the spectacular, don't we? The big win, the loud triumph, the day when everything falls into place and the crowd finally sees us for who we are. But that's a mirage, a distraction from the truth that greatness isn't a gift bestowed, it's a garden cultivated. Every seed you plant, every small task you conquer, waters the soil of something far deeper than fleeting applause. Discipline isn't a cage, it's a key. The freedom you crave to live on your terms, to chase what matters, comes only when you master the chaos that starts at your doorstep. And yet, you hesitate. Not because you're lazy, but because you're afraid that if you fail at something this simple, it might confirm the doubts you've buried deep. That fear is a liar, though. It's not failure that defines you, it's refusal to try. The quiet surrender to a life half-lived while you wait for a perfect moment that never arrives. What if today was the day you stopped waiting? What if, right now, you decided that the smallest act could be the loudest rebellion against everything holding you back? Because here's the paradox. The simpler the task, the harder it is to stick with it. Consistency demands more than talent or luck. It demands a willingness to show up when no one's watching, when the reward isn't immediate. That's where the magic hides, in the unglamorous grind of the everyday. The made bed isn't the end, it's the beginning. The first domino in a chain that could topple every excuse you've ever leaned on. Look around. Youth who soar, who build lives of meaning, aren't wizards or prodigies. They're just people who learn to value the invisible victories, the ones no one claps for, but that echo in their bones. Your brain will fight this. It's wired for shortcuts, for comfort over conquest. To override, that takes a deliberate rewiring, a choice to trade instant gratification for the slow, steady hum of purpose. And purpose isn't loud, it's quiet, persistent, built brick by brick in the shadows. Making your bed is the first brick, a humble cornerstone for a life that could stand against any storm. Jordan Peterson calls it cleaning your room, but it's more than that's claiming your mind. If you can't govern the space you inhabit, how can you hope to govern the dreams you chase? Your ego bristles at this, doesn't it? It wants to believe you're too big for such small stakes, that your destiny lies in grander gestures, not in folding sheets. But what if that's the illusion keeping you trapped? What if the path to your highest self starts exactly where you stand, in the mess you've ignored for too long? Because when you make that bed, you're not just fighting chaos, you're fighting yourself. You're breaking the chains of procrastination, of doubt, of the subtle laziness that disguises itself as busyness. Imagine a year of this 365 days of small wins stacking up, each one a testament to your resolve. Who would you be then, with that momentum, that unshakable foundation beneath you? Success isn't a lottery ticket, it's a habit. It's the sum of every choice you make when the world isn't looking, when the only witness is the person staring back in the mirror. And that person is watching right now, waiting to see what you'll do with this. Will you shrug it off, let the sheets stay crumpled, or will you finally step into the arena of your own life? Because the truth is brutal. No one's coming to save you from the chaos. The only hero in this story is the one you decide to become, starting with the tiniest act of defiance. So tomorrow, when you open your eyes, don't just get up, rise. Make that bed not as a chore, but as a vow. Today, I choose myself, my potential, my power over the drift. Feel that shift, that spark of control, igniting something dormant within you. Then ask yourself, if I can master this, what else am I capable of that I've been too afraid to face? This isn't about sheets or tidiness. It's about identity. It's about who you're willing to become when the cameras are off, when the only stakes are the ones you've set for yourself. The world doesn't care about your intentions. It measures your actions. And right now, it's watching not out there, but in here, in the quiet of your own soul. So I'll leave you with this, a question that won't let you go. What would your life look like if you stopped running from the small and started building with it? Share your answer below. Tell me, what's the first small victory you'll claim tomorrow?